my own chicken breast, full chicken breast. These happen to be Green Wise from Publix brand, okay? And you come to a pack like this, and I'm going to show you. My hands are very clean, and you work with plastic because it doesn't hold the germs. It still has to get washed, but you wouldn't do this on a wood board unless you had it devoted to chicken because of the bacteria and all of that. Okay. You put your hand flat. You do need a boning fillet knife for this. It's very, very sharp, so I don't suggest you do this if you don't have any knife skills, or do not do this if it's your first time, okay? Yeah, let somebody show you or guide you in person before you attempt it. But you put your hand here, and you see, you try to find where the center is of the cutlet, and just go nice and slow. Okay, keeping your hand there. See, my hand's never near the knife. And if you feel a little better and you want to open it a bit, just to make sure where you're going. Okay. Takes a little skill. I didn't do this my first time out. It's not something that happens perfectly. But see, there it is. If you were butterflying and wanted to keep them together, you wouldn't go as deep as I did. But we want cutlets. So that's that. And then see, normally this is a little bit thick. I may pound them out. Let me show you that process if I do. Some halves come a little thinner. The whole thing of pounding them is to tenderize them. But because we're doing chicken parmesan, I don't think they need that much tender. I'll show you quickly something you all must probably already know. But you basically cover it with the...
No mic.
No mic. It's all right. They'll hear me. I'll have the mic in the next. I have to speak loud now. Pound it out like that with the button side. See? Pound it a little bit, and then you could turn it over, and you could hit it with that side, and make it as thin as you like. Depends what your recipe is. If you were making involtini, which I'll show in another episode, it would be thinner than this. But that's a good cutlet size. That's a good, see? And that's just gonna go get breaded next. This I'm gonna get rid of. Okay, so that's how to do your own chicken cutlets, or you can buy them ready-made just like this if you wanted. Now, I'm going to stop for a minute because we'll come back and show you after I bread them. I'll do one or two. Everybody basically knows how to bread them, but we'll take it in steps like we did the ravioli. I'll have my mic on next if I've driven anybody crazy as Vinny. And that's what's going on. Chicken Parmesan, some pasta, penne pasta, and Sunday sauce with meatballs, but that's another episode. But that is the menu for today. I'll be back in a bit to show you how we bread them and then fry them and put them in the pan oven. Hi everybody, we're back and I have my mic on. Sorry for the interruption before if you didn't hear me clearly. I did finish cutting all the cutlets in half from the breast, and I decided to go ahead because some were thicker than others like I had said, and I pounded each of them. You see, it's little light teeth marks, and you could see the thickness of it. It's wonderful. I'm only going to fry two on camera for you because there's quite a bit. I do want to talk a bit about what I do if it helps you, and if you like it, my recipe, it's a little bit more time consuming. Back in the day, I used to just take my old seasoned Italian breadcrumbs and just bread them and everything. As time went on, you watch other people cook and you learn tips and tricks and tasty stuff. So now what I do, I made up my own blend. I add a little bit of the panko for extra crunch, not much, kind of a balance of half and half. I add pecorino romano cheese to that. And what I also do is I chop up fresh parsley, about a tablespoon. And then I put everything in a container. Happened to be that this was half full, so I put it all in there. The cheese, the double blended the breadcrumbs, even the parsley, so that it dries up a bit in there before we use it. Now look at what I got to work with. You can see it's a little bit vamped up of a jar, ready-made breadcrumbs, so to speak, but it is amped up with flavor. There's Parmesan in there, pecorino, there's parsley, and there's the panko to give it a little bit more crunch. So I'm going to fry two. Eggs, we all know. And then we'll see. I want to show you something because when I was younger, I used to make a ton of mistakes doing the cutlets because I always thought that they had to be cooked all the way through on the stovetop. That's not the case when you're doing Parmesan. That's not. When you're doing chicken cutlet just to eat with a veggie, yes, they should be fully cooked through. Okay, here. Get these through. Look at that. You can see the panko mix gives it a nice little something something. That's mine. If you didn't want to put them, just go with straight season. That's okay. You could just do that. You don't have to add the parsley or anything. But for us and me, this adds such a lovely extra flavor. That's why I'm sharing it with you. I don't tell anybody my secret. Now I'm all over sharing it. And that it's hilarious. I remember this was my big secret to me, how my cutlets tasted extra something. And everybody's pan's different. So, things are going to fry differently. I'm in love with my new cast iron. I'm using this like crazy. Shake off a bit. It's a nice hot pan. See the sizzle? Crazy girl's deciding to work a little bit today. I don't trust her. I really don't trust her. Sometimes I'm afraid to amp her up because I'm going to go from a 5 to a 6. We'll see. If she gets attitude, I'm going to tone her right down. Okay. Now, I would say, in all honesty, about 3 minutes on each side till they're golden and crispy, and then they're going to go out onto paper towels, as we all know how to do a chicken cutlet and prepare it, fry it, and then drain the excess oil. I use a good extra virgin olive oil. Right now I'm using a Pompeian, but I use lots of brands as long as they're good extra virgin olive oil for sauteing. Now, Bertolli does the different ones, and it does make a difference. They have for salad, robust for finishing, and sauteing. I get the one for sauteing, and that's what I do my cutlets in. A lot of people do a blend of both. You can do olive oil, half canola. It's up to you. I know I watch my fats sometimes. See, let me just move them around so the pans have different hot spots. I'll tell you, till this day, I am still learning how to master sauteing and frying and pans, how important the correct pan is, stainless versus cast iron versus porcelain and copper. All right, almost. This one has to, it seems to be, Crazy Stove Girl has a hot spot in the center. It doesn't sound very good, but Pan Girl has a hot spot in her center here. See where it's mostly boiling, and you see what I'm doing. If you ever encounter this difficulty, do what I'm doing. Play with your food. Move it around. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Because I don't want to overcook them. I'm going to turn them now because I'll give the other side next one. But you want them basically to be a little bit golden like that. Just that the breadcrumbs are cooked and crisped. Crisped. Because that's all you need. The center should be a little pink right now because they're going to go in the oven. For me, I put them for 25 minutes. So basically, you're cooking the cutlet for about 30 minutes. That's more than enough to get it cooked through. And the thickness of them, they're not a big breast. That's a different measurement. This one, see, it was a little thicker on this side. Let me look at it. No, it's almost good. I'm going to give it a second more. And it really is a lot by sight. You could say 3 minutes, set your timer, talk to Alexa, whatever you choose. That's the basic. If you're uncertain, you want to do it 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, and then bake them a little less. This is all going to vary. Like I was telling you in the meatloaf recipe. And everybody's oven, everybody's pans and stoves. I'm not a master at everybody's temps, but this is me and this is mine. Cast iron. You see what a nice brown it gives, and it does it quite fast. I'm learning that myself now. I haven't been cooking very long on this, maybe a few months. And my son was saying to me, because I said, I have to keep oiling it. It's a pain in the neck to have to wash it, dry it, and then oil it to put it away. And he goes, Mom, the more you use it, it builds up its own sealant, which it came. It came seasoned. But still, if you don't wash it properly, it will get a rust. But he says the more you use it and cook with it, it gets naturally seasoned that you will see in time. You don't have to do the extra step of oiling before putting away. So I'll try. I'm listening. I made my meatballs in here, which I'm going to show you after I end here for a minute. Well, let me show you now, and then we're going to say goodbye. This is for, you have to keep your hands very clean when you're dealing with chicken. I'm not going to touch anything to cause any contamination, but there's the meatballs. They're smelling good. That's another recipe. If people want to really know, request it, and I'll get it done faster because I don't have any immediate plans to cook it, but those are my luscious meatballs I've been making for 48 years. 48-year recipe. Okay, see now? I'm going to show you the other side. Look, here's the other side. Nice and crisp. How about here? Nice and crisp. Out to the paper towel. All right? Now I'm going to proceed. Ooh, they look delicious and they smell delicious. And you see those little bits of parsley, how nice that little bit of extra looks, that freshness, and that's going to add to the taste, the finished product of that chicken cutlet parm. I'm going to finish frying these all up, and then I'm going to come back. Maddie will probably be here by then because we like to have them fresh and hot. And I'll show them going into the oven, and then our completed dinner table would be fun, I think, to show everybody. It's a wonderful Sunday, and we're exciting, celebrating family and the holiday. Be back soon. And now the cutlets are ready to go into the oven. I saved this step to show you. Vinny, if you could get a little closer look here. What I did was I took some of the sauce from our meatballs and I layered the pan before I put the cutlets down to give some moisture underneath. Now I took also some sauce from the meatballs to go on top. And then you're going to just put a little bit of sauce on every cutlet. Just so, like that. It's delicious. And we're all hungry. And Maddie's in the house. My nephew's here. We're all hungry. It's like 3 hungry Italians and 1 small dog who thinks she's a German Shepherd. You all know how Millie loves pasta and family time. Okay. I'm being a little stingy with the sauce here because some people like more than others, and you can always add on. Okay? So don't worry about that. You do you. Okay? Now, I'm using, I know, Kraft Mozzarella. I used to use Polio as everybody did for over 50 years. But they've been bought by Bella Gioso, and you just can't get it anymore. And I don't like the other brands. We're not going to trash nobody. So we're just going to work with pre-shredded mozzarella, full whole milk, no skim milk, nothing. And look at how easy that is. Come on. Doesn't get more easy than that. And you put as much or as little as you want. We like a lot. We like a lot of mozzarella, everybody? Okay. Look at that. This is one of my favorite meals, not only to eat, but to make because it's a crowd pleaser. It's a group pleaser. You could feed a lot of people or a little people. The only thing is, you could use a jar sauce and do them quick. My husband was asking me earlier why I don't make them that often. Because they require homemade sauce to taste their very best. And you don't always have sauce on hand. I'm not always making a Sunday sauce. But now, ever since you watched the video, when I did the plain marinara for, what was I making with that? What did I make that for? The raviolis. So now that I have that in my pocket, I'm going to use it more often. I'm going to make a whole batch of marinara, freezer it up in jars, containers, and then whenever we want chicken cutlets, we'll always have fresh sauce. That's the only component that I say has to be fresh, that tastes its best. All right. Now they're going to go in an oven. My oven, you all know, is crazy. We're going to put them in there for like 20, 25 minutes at about 375. Let me show you. Here comes crazy girl. You all have been watching all these recipes and how fickle she is. I'm going to start a GoFundMe with my husband to get Jeanine a new stove. Okay, so they're going to go in goodbye. Now, the thing about that, they're going to be done in 20, 25 minutes. We got garlic bread that's done in 10 minutes and pasta that takes 10 minutes to cook. So there's just a little tip now. We're going to put the pasta on in about 10 minutes. I'm not going to put it. I'm going to wait. I'm going to have Alexa time me 10 minutes, let the cutlets get a head start. Then goes the pasta and the bread. And within 25 minutes, you'll see us at the table. Cheers. And we got his favorites. Chicken cutlet parmesan, meatballs, penne, garlic bread, nice salad, some regatta on the side, and drinks. And bon appetit, everybody. Enjoy.